Yo, guys, give me 1 second. I'm almost there. I'm just setting up this chat box, so it'll take me 1 second. Yo, guys, give me 1 second. I'm almost there. I'm just setting up this chat box, so it'll take me 1 second. Okay, guys, we're gonna go. Here we go. Yo, guys, what's up? Here I am. Welcome to the stream. I had a bit of trouble there at the start because it's the first time I've set up notifications for YouTube, so it gave me a bit of a panic there. So I was wondering whether I had to kick you all out and start it all over again, but it seems like it's worked okay so far, so that's brilliant, that is. I just want to give a shout out to all the people that are in chat at the minute. Let me go back through it all and have a quick read. Right, so yeah, where is it? 1 second. Let's get your Twidget sorted out. There we go. Bring your story. So yeah, today if you've got a ghost story or an alien sighting or a UFO sighting, anything of that nature, and give us your theories on time travel, you know. You're right, guy. How you doing, bud? So we've got Immortal Dragon and Rad. Cheers for coming. Dave shows in. You're right, bud. Who else we got? Louis in your house. Cheers for coming, mate. Who else we got? We got Mrs. TEZZ, as always. Mrs. TEZZ is here for a laugh. See who else we got? Arcade Chaos in the room, and of course my good friend Feral Inferno. How you doing, buddy? How you getting on? So I suppose you've all come here to hear a few stories, a few of the creepy ones. Before I get started, can I just ask, Mrs. TEZZ, is the music coming through okay? Is the sound coming through okay? What you got there? Yeah, let me know if the sound's okay, and then we'll continue. Should be. I've got some nice music playing there in the background for a few minutes. Try and set the scene for this evening's chat. All good, Mrs. TEZZ, so she's my producer on this. She's sitting upstairs with her headphones on, listening. Yeah. So, this is a blast from the past. Eggy bread. So, well, I'll just do a bit of explaining on this for those guys in here that don't know the Eggy bread saga. Feral is an American chap, and as with a bunch of American chaps that I spoke to last couple of years, they had no idea what eggy bread was. Louis, you know what eggy bread is, right? Louis is your traditional English guy as well. He lives out in the country. You know what eggy bread is, yeah? How do you make eggy bread? Yeah, gotta love eggy bread. But how do you make it? That's the thing. Yeah. How do you make it, Louis? You say how you make it. See if it's the same as I do it. And you might hear my cat complaining in the background that he's not getting enough airtime because he's not got his own channel, even though his face is on the banner above it. I think he wants to get online as well. So eggy bread. Eggy bread, for everybody that doesn't know, is made. I should imagine Louis is going to say this. You whip up a bit of egg, a bit of milk, as if you're going to make some scrambled egg. You dip your bread in it, dip both sides, throw it straight into a frying pan. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, put a bit. I always put a little bit of milk in it as well, like just a touch, like. Yeah, just give a quick blast on each side. Yeah, see now the issue is like for you English guys and American guys. That's not how you do eggy bread, mate. That's not eggy bread. So as you can see, like the Americans and the English have been having this bust up for the last 3 years over eggy bread. Eggy bread is savoury. It's not sweet. It's not meant to have like vanilla and cinnamon on it. It's meant to have brown sauce on it, or red sauce, which is ketchup, or even barbecue sauce. Like, yeah, have it with your brekkie in the morning, bit of bacon and that. Oh man, it's making me hungry just thinking about it. Anyway, I'd like to continue on with this. I've got a great story I can start with, if to get us all in the mood. And it does go ghosts, aliens, and time travel. So we'll start with ghosts. So think of your stories as I'm telling mine, and I'll read it. Brown sauce chaos. Yeah, Americans don't have brown sauce like we have it, but I believe I've got it on good authority that it's almost the same as steak sauce. See, look, he's antagonising me. You don't put pure maple syrup on it, mate. Although, to be fair, you could do. You could. But we don't. Yeah, that's right. A1 steak sauce for the Americans. So it's apparently a similar sort of taste to that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the stories. I've got mine in a little notepad here, which is not showing up properly, but I've got mine in a little notepad that I actually wrote out years and years ago because, I mean, I wanted to remember the details as I told it, and, well, here it is. So when I was about 14 years old, I used to babysit, as many people did when they were young. You know, you make a bit of extra cash, a little bit of a cigarette in there. And yeah, I was 14 and I was with a friend, and we was asked to babysit for these two young kids. So the young kids, one boy who was about, I'd say 4, and there was a girl, his sister, and she was maybe 6. And they were well-behaved kids. They were really polite. They never caused trouble. They went to bed when they were supposed to go to bed. So, as you can imagine, babysitting was easy money for us. We'd just go around there, have a few cups of tea, watch a few things on telly, and if anything happened with the kids, we'd just give the mum a call, and she'd come home early because she worked at a pub, you see. So, this one night we go around and we babysit, and the mother tells us, and I'm not kidding, right, it was the first time I'd heard of it, but the mother tells us that her daughter is haunted and to keep an eye out. So we thought, okay, that sounds odd, right, odd thing to say, but people talk about hauntings and stuff off the cuff all the time, so I really didn't think much of it. A couple of weeks later, I mean, nothing happened for ages. Right, so we babysat a few times after that, nothing had happened. And then one night we was babysitting. Everything was normal. We got around there about 7 o'clock in the evening, sorry. And Mum was just putting the kids to bed. And she said, like, right, the kids are off, like, they've had the tea, they're all sorted, they've had the bath, and they're in bed, like, and they're all shouting, night, night, you know. And all we had to do was make sure nothing happened during the night, and we were good like before. So we make a cup of tea, Mum goes out, and we sit there playing cards and watching stuff on telly in the living room as we normally did. Smoked a few cigarettes in the garden as delinquent teenagers used to do. And then we were sitting there watching a TV programme called The Equalizer, which some of you might remember from years back with Edward Woodward in the original OG series. And we were sitting there watching that, just chatting away. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I heard this banging, and it was really, really loud. And you know the sort of loudness. It sounded like furniture is moving around. It sounds like there's a man stomping. It's not the sound that you expect in a house when there's only you and a couple of kids. So I was like, we both stood up in complete shock. I had no idea what was happening, and it just sounded like bang, bang, bang on the wall, really loud. Bang, bang. And I was like, My mate was terrified. He just looked at me and it was just ash. His face was ashen. He had no expression. He just looked like he'd left the building. So I don't know. I just legged it up the stairs, and you could hear the banging as I was going up the stairs. And I just weren't thinking. I was just thinking, like, you know, kids, what's going on? And as I got to the second floor of the landing, I could see the kids running to the top of the stairs from the bedroom. And the banging, it was still happening. I mean, I'll get to you in a minute, Louis. I just want to finish the story while I'm on while I'm on the run, like, so you'll know what I'm going on with. Like, yeah, it's just a normal house in Leicester, where I live, obviously. So, anyway, where was I? Louis completely threw me off now. So yeah, I go running up the stairs, and the two kids are out, arms outstretched at the top of the stairs, and they both sort of jump on me as I walk up. Well, I'm sort of half running up the stairs because I don't know what's going on. All I'm thinking is, there's nobody else in the house, is there? Is there? I just didn't know because it sounded like there were men in the house or something. So they jumped on me, and I like sort of just turned around and legged it downstairs with them, and we got into the living room, and my mate just slammed the door as we got in, and as the slam went, everything stopped, the noise stopped, and we was like, oh my god, what the flying has just happened? I've never experienced anything quite like it in my life. I'd heard stories of ghosts and stuff like that, I mean, but I had, like, this was, you want to debunk it, like, you know what I mean, you want to be logical about it, but even as an adult looking back at it, I can't figure out what happened. So we said to the kids, what's happened? What's going on? What's the noise? And you won't believe what she said, the little girl said. The little boy, like, he was cake. There was nothing he could do, he was just sobbing in bits. And his sister, like, after calming down after a few minutes, like, we sat on the settee, like, and we go, go on, tell us what's happened. And she said, there was a man sitting on the wardrobe, and he was angry, and he was banging. And I was like, stop, shut the front door, mate. What the hell is this? I couldn't quite believe it. It felt like I was in a different world, because, I mean, I didn't really believe that that kind of stuff existed at all. And like I said, to this day, I can't debunk it in any way. There was nobody else upstairs. There was no way on earth those kids could have made that sound. You go upstairs to your bedroom now and you stamp on the floor as a bloke. That's the kind of sound it made. You go banging a wardrobe upstairs with your fist. That's the kind of sound it made. Not the kind of sound a 6-year-old could make in any way. They couldn't have even been jumping up and down on the bed, because we know what kind of sound that made. So, that's my story. That's my number one story, and one of the reasons why I can't fully discount ghosts and supernatural paranormal, because, well, I don't know what happened there. I mean, there is another experience when I was living at another house with the wife, Mrs. TEZZ, and she'll tell you this. And a weird thing happened up in something. She said, "Come here. Something's happened." And I said, "What?" And I went and stood in a certain spot, and it felt like someone touched the top of my head, and I was like, "What was that?" And she went, "Did it feel like someone touched the top of your head?" And I went, "Yeah." And she went, "It happened to me as well." And we both kind of a bit freaked. So, but yeah, we didn't like that house. Apparently somebody had actually died in it, so what do you do? There's plenty of houses where people have died. It's just that's it. I'll have a look at the chat now to see what you guys have said. So where was I? Yeah, Arcade Chaos, that's right. I don't know what's happened to Sir Scares. Where's he gone? I checked his channel out and he hasn't uploaded for a while, so yeah. But yeah, I remember you did share the story that I told back then with you guys, yeah. And that's it, that's a fuller version of it, really, what I just said. So it sounds like somebody's off to make a sandwich. Maybe back now. Yeah, we made Dave hungry. Made me hungry. I'm going for a sandwich. Back in a minute, guys. No sandwich for me just yet. We'll have to wait till after. But yeah, that's the main story that I had. I mean, I've got another couple. So Yeah, Equalizer. Do you remember the Equalizer? That was brilliant. That was Edward Woodward. Plus, like the new one with Denzel Washington. And that's chaos. That's good. Yeah, like I said, the house was like, well, I'm not, I can't give the exact location, but it was somewhere in Leicestershire. Yeah, that's what the music is in the background too. Yeah, I mean that's also something that we want to talk about. I mean, is it residual energy? Is it an energy that we don't know? That's that's what I mean that's why I can't. I'm a very logical person, and normally I would discount it with logic and say that can't happen. It's impossible. The physics behind it don't work. But also, like, I'm clever enough to know that there's much more intelligent people than me that do say that something's going on. Yeah, I mean, it's a creepy story. I won't ever forget it. I won't ever forget it. So let's have a look. Arcade Chaos, he's got a bit of a story. So where is it? So one day, I walked into my bedroom and saw my grandpa sitting on my bed. He was black and white. He looked just like if you were to cut him out of a black and white newspaper picture and put him in there. That's really strange, that is. That is odd, that is. I mean, you would say that you were compos mentis at the time, you know, not drinking or tired or just woke up or something like that. So yeah, weirdly, we didn't find out what happened to the kids. They stayed at the same place. I never babysat for them again. I mean, I just couldn't because I was like, I didn't understand what had happened, so I never went back, ever. And we didn't really talk about it much after that for a little while because we was just processing it, I guess, like, you know, because everyone just thought we were bullshitting, like, so the story didn't go out very far, like, because we were just kids who was bullshitting as far as everyone was concerned, but it really did happen, and as an adult, I can say it. Yeah, I stand by it. It really happened. So, Arcade Chaos again. Long story short, I was going through some personal stuff. He wasn't happy with it, and he was sitting with his head down, looking severely depressed, as if I had let him down with my choices. Oh, I see. So, basically, like, you feel that he came to give you advice, tried to get you to move on. In the same house, I was pinned to the bed by a shadow creature. In that same house, I was touched and caressed by someone who was sitting next to me on the bed, and I could see the impression. That's freaky. Seeing the impression. I mean, are you sure that this isn't something that happened to you? Because you mentioned twice a bed and bedroom, and I mean, not that I want to say that I don't believe you, obviously, but if I was to scientifically look at this, or if others psychologically was to look at it, they'd probably say that it might be a dream state situation where you either not woke up properly and not been able to control what you're seeing. Because we all know the brain can play massive tricks on us, and if you don't believe that, if you don't believe that we're capable of seeing ghosts that ain't there, what are hallucinations? And hallucinations are proven to be true, and they happen. And as I was discussing with somebody earlier, a hallucination transfers itself from unreality into reality. So you think it's reality. Isn't that the same thing that happens when you see something either supernatural or paranormal? So this is the reason why it's a very tricky thing. I mean, we're talking about, is there an afterlife? Just for a start, before you even get into whether ghosts exist. So, and that's a subject that has religious connotations. And to be fair, we don't want to go into religious connotations tonight. Obviously, like, everybody has their own beliefs and so on. And I don't think that we have to either believe in God or not believe in God to understand that, like, something's gone on, something is going on. And I wanted to do a bit of research on this for you guys, because I didn't want to just like come in here chatting about it. I wanted to do something, so I thought, like, who is there somebody right now who is actively researching this. And it turns out there is. Unfortunately, it's behind a bit of a paywall at the moment. Actually, no, I've got it. In 1 second, I will drop that in. Let me just drop that in here. So I hope you can see that, guys. So, yeah, there's a paranormal activity lab at the University of Virginia. And it's not the only one. There's loads of paranormal labs and paranormal and supernatural studies going on all over the world. And everybody says to us, like, so... It's not true. It's obviously not true. Why are respected scientists spending a lot of time and money, like it says here, respected scientists are lending credibility to parapsychological research. So people are taking it seriously. It's not just, yeah, it's not just, you know, things that people are saying. It's not just crazy people. It's not just in your mind for everything. A lot of it can be put down to psychological things, but let's face it, a lot of it can't. It looks like the chat is going absolutely mental right now, so like let me get into reading some of this. Right, Arcade Chaos he's brought his story. Let me carry on through this. Right, okay, so we'll carry on with Arcade Chaos until we get to the other bits. So, seen my friend's dead mother twice in that same house and scared the shit out of me. So you really have. You've seen some stuff. And so I assume then that because of that, that you truly believe that it's got you now. Here we go. Daughter was about 4-year-old, a big ass muscular shadow person, basically looks like the Rock, jumped inside of my daughter and made her talk in some language. I mean, that's weird. But I mean, does she... I mean, I'm not, like I said, again, I'm not trying to debunk what you're saying, but are you absolutely sure, like, that these things have happened? Because, I mean, that's quite a wild claim, and people won't believe you, and I bet you they don't. But, like I say, it's different for everybody. I think some people are telling the truth. You can't prove it. And because some people are obviously not telling the truth, like in these stupid videos that you see with the red circles around them, you know, just for clicks, because there's a lot of untruth out there, it makes you very untrustworthy of everybody else. Wow. So her face changed and she was looking at me like she wanted to bite my face. So I grabbed her by the shoulders and I said, "What's wrong with you?" And that's when the shadow person went into me, and I had the fight of my life to get him out when I finally did. This is some story, mate. Yeah, shadow people, you mentioned shadow people there. That's another thing that is associated with ghostly presences. Like, but are shadow people and ghosts the same thing, or are they two different things? Sorry, I didn't read that. What did you say? He looked like... When they tell you that shadow people are darker than the blackest black, yeah, that's he looked at me, not his head walked right through the wall. That's an experience, mate. That kind of eclipses my experiences, to be fair. We're going to move on to bit of Louis' story here. It says, my dad used to have a house in Chad Darby. We only lived there for 6 months, starting off with just music and TV, keep being turned up, then banging up the stairs, walking around. You know, I'm gonna come back to, because there's a lot of posts this. I'm gonna get back to Arcade Chaos in a minute, so I'm doing 2 stories at the same time in the minute. Louis says, one night we was all eating supper and it got really bad, so my dad started shouting at the spirit to leave as it was scaring us. This was his house now. The next morning we came down. Oh, it's getting exciting now. The whole downstairs had been trashed, so we grabbed a few things and left to my uncle's house until the council found us another house. It was crazy, but I always kept it to myself, as people don't believe. Yeah, they don't believe until it happens to them. Yeah, just sit back and enjoy it, mate. Have a good game. Oh, okay. So if we save that little bit till we get to the alien part on the next one, which will be in a few minutes, and I'll get into that. So I just want to like finish up your part of the story. So you said, so one day you're so depressed, you was in bed, laying in the bed crying, and as I did, my friend came in and she said, she laid next to me and she would rub my back and try to, no, make me feel better. I thought it was like she always does, so I sat up, never looking over, and go, you know, I'm not in the mood right now, just please let me be alone. When I looked over, nobody was there but indentation. So I see, that's freak. So you thought you could feel that there was somebody in the room, but yeah. So you live in a Dave Show lives in a super creepy old house. So my mum lived in a creepy old house, like, and she said that she really didn't. Not much happened at all, really. And she lived in a house that was like, got to be at least 200 years old. You know what's funny about the house? That all that shit happened to me and Tess. Her mother died in that house, and you know for a fact her spirit was there. But that basement, the whole floor, had cracked up right from the centre, like Satan himself trying to get out of the house, and the house was messed up. Jeez, you need to write a story, brother. But we continue with Louis. Oh yeah, we've been here. Yeah, the old downstairs was trashy. I was going to ask Louis, what did the council say? What did the council say about that? Immortal Dragon says, I have a spooky thing that happened to me. I was in the house with my nana, mum and dog. In time, no longer was watching the TV. Mum and nana was I sat down in the fireplace having a well, got to continue. This will continue. There we go. Cup of tea. That could have been anything. you got to be careful how you end your sentences, because if you could have just left that hanging there. You sat down next to the fireplace having a. Could have been anything, but it wasn't. It was a cup of tea, just like I would be. Saw my dog at the bottom of the stairs growling. I look up and saw a figure of a person. A dark shape sat down. I said, there is someone there, Mum, and Nana couldn't see it. So only you could see it. So, I mean, is that the only thing that's happened to you? Does that make you a believer? Does that mean you're more interested in wanting to find out what's going on? I mean, we've all got theories, I suppose, about what it could be. I think one of the best ones is, like somebody said in an earlier post, the resonance, that we leave behind some sort of resonance, and that in some way it's interacting with us via an energy that we just don't know yet. So, and until the scientists of the world can tell us what that energy is, or whether it even exists, maybe it's just something that they haven't found yet. It's just something, just like when, like, they have to update the periodic table because they found a new element that said never existed, but it does, so they have to update the element on the table. The same thing occasionally happens in physics, where like a new thing has been found in physics, which happened recently with the Higgs boson and several other things like related to the Big Hadron Collider. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. So we wanted to move on to aliens because we've been talking about ghosts for ages now. I mean, this is easily we could easily do a part 2 out of this. And who mentioned it earlier on? The mall incident in Miami. Alright, well, we'll go back to that. Let me go back to that. Oh, I'm trying to find the Miami bit in the. 1 second. Oh yeah, Louis says the council has lots of complaints of supernatural experiences. Nobody stayed longer than a few months. House got knocked down a few years later, and they built a school there. Yeah, build a school there. Yeah, but yeah, build a school. Why not? That sounds like a movie. Yeah. So Arcade Chaos was saying about a strange thing that happened in Miami a few weeks back. apparently there were sightings of strange things. Could have been portals, could have been aliens, but people were running. And if you've seen the pictures on the internet somewhere, I'm sure there's a video somewhere you can find. They've got the entire Miami police station, the entire Miami police, all of them there. They all turned up for it. So it looks like there's like 500 cars, just all spinning lights and everything. It looked bad. But from what I can tell, like from some sensible people that have tried to break it down, there's nothing of importance. Even one of the guys that said he saw aliens ended up saying he made it up for likes. Seriously, he made it up for likes. And then another one which purported to be an alien figure walking across in front of a police car was actually broke down until it was realised that it was actually 3 people walking side by side. So considering those facts, I'm not a big believer in anything happening at in the Miami Mall thing. What I believe did happen is a bunch of kids went around antagonising and causing nuisance in the mall, and because of the recent shoplifting things where people, like a bunch of kids just bomb into a store and steal loads of things, because in America, like if you get you can steal $950 worth of stuff and it still won't be a felony. You'll be charged as a misdemeanor. So people are willing to do that for $950 worth of stuff, and groups of kids do it. So what happened is the police got a report of that, and it was somebody apparently had said that the police officer were in danger, and then they all turned up. So, do you have anything different on that chaos? Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, no. I can't agree with that, because like it's the 21 grams thing, isn't it? Like the doctor, the scientist that actually did that test, he was no good. And when it got peer reviewed, it got thrown under the bus. It was never able to be replicated. It was found that he was fudging his numbers just to get a paper written. So they've not really proven that the soul has a weight, or even what the soul is. So I'm still not convinced, because that guy got totally rubbished. So even though they made like a big thing out of it, and it's a story, and I believe it's a film as well somewhere, but it's absolutely not true. The guy was just on the scam. Yeah, aliens, flying saucers. So who's got? Let's get into this. Who's got a story? Who's seen something up in the sky? I've seen something that, like, you know. Yeah, I see that. They did explain. They did send all the resources there. That's because they were told that there was a gang of kids and they were attacking people, and that a police officer was in danger. And so they all turned up, apparently, because they all thought that it was going to be a big, massive event. I don't know how it happened. There's some weird stuff around it, but let's face it, it's unlikely to be aliens and portals, to be honest. There's no evidence, no direct evidence. Considering the amount of people that have cell phones now, there's no actual evidence, there's no pictures, there's no film that actually shows. Yeah, that's right. So the conspiracy theory is like that, because the GPS is, it does have a relevance to Antarctica, that means something happens there. But I mean, there's no actual evidence, and that is the annoying thing. There's no real evidence, and you'd think there would be. The amount of cameras these days, every shop has a camera, every person walking around has a camera, and nobody caught anything other than a few fuzzy shots that says like, look, that might be an alien over there, or that bright flashing thing is a portal. And I just take a little bit more convincing. I do. It just takes a little bit more convincing. It's not to say that I don't believe that those things might occur. I just don't believe that that occurred at that point. I think that somebody, well, basically the internet got hold of it and made a big thing of it, and it went viral, and a lot of people got hold of it, and nobody was sure. Everyone was confused. I think there was a thing a couple of months ago where some kids said that the aliens had like crash landed in their back garden, if you remember, and that went viral for a short amount of time, and that was proven to be not true as well. So all these things get debunked quite easily, which is a shame. But I think a lot of people want aliens to exist, and they want to be here when, you know, we find evidence of it. Yeah, it's the cloaking device thing. I don't know. I just haven't seen anything that looks good yet. It's not defined. No, they say that the Black Shadow isn't actually an alien, that it's 3 police officers walking side by side. So there's actually a few good debunking videos if you have a look. So yeah, that one came in recently, that story, and it was quite big. And let's face it, to be honest, like I could be totally wrong, and Arcade Chaos could be right, and I could be the sheep that's being led by the media and like what people are saying on social media to cover this up. Maybe it is a cover up. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, what do you guys? You've seen the stuff on the news. What do you reckon? So my story. I'll go to my second story, which was actually a type of ghost story, but a weird one. So I wonder, I'd say about the same year, I was 14, 15, maybe 15, I was stupidly walking through a graveyard at about 2 o'clock in the morning, because like I had really big balls when I was that young, and I just didn't care. So yeah, I was walking through a graveyard at about 2 in the morning, and as I walked up to what was called the bridle path, which was like a sort of cut in where we cut through like a crossroad sort of thing, as I cut over that, I glanced to my side, and I could see straight up what we call the bridle path, which is just a place where horses used to walk down to the fields that used to cut through the graveyard. Now, I saw a figure standing there, but not any figure, and it's weird because it's the graveyard, but I didn't see just any figure. I saw a big guy, about 8-9 foot tall. I'd say 8 foot tall, and it was deaf. It was in the cloak and he had a scythe, and he was standing there, and I could see him, and it was all black. The entire thing was like a shadow, but it was in the shape of the Grim Reaper. I mean, you don't have to believe me. Nobody believes me. Nobody believes. Oh yeah, you're walking through a graveyard and you saw the Grim Reaper. Well done, right? You know, you're not dead, like. So what's happened there? I don't know, but I seen it, and the thing is, I weren't even scared. It's not like I was crapping it instantly. I looked at it and I just looked at it for a moment, and then I just carried on walking in the same direction as I was going, and I didn't really think about it too much until I was walking away, and then I was like, Jesus, what's gone on there? What did I just see? And I didn't process it much until I got home, and then I sat down and I was like, I really just saw something. I really just saw something, and I didn't want to tell people because of how strange it is. I mean, it's not a ghost. It's death in a graveyard. Of all the graveyards in all the countries in the world, death's in mine. It don't sound right. Don't seem right. But I'm not lying. I saw something. Now my eyes could have been playing tricks on me. probably were, because I mean, it's unlikely that I actually saw the Grim Reaper. So, but in my mind, in my eyes, that's exactly what I saw. Standing between two bushes, with the light behind him, was a figure. And as I remember the figure now, it's not a solid shape. It's like a wispy black smoke, and it's drifting away as you think of it. As you see it, it's like drifting, you know. Then it's kind of gone, and you're gone as well. So that was my second story. I mean, that's an odd one. I wouldn't like, do you know, I wouldn't lie about it. Honestly, I'm not, it's like I'm not getting like millions of clicks for this, like, am I? So it's not like I'm lying. It's not going to make me famous. I'm not releasing a video saying, oh, look guys, I've seen this and that. You know, it's just, I'll tell people that, and I'll stand by what I said, like, you know what I mean? I'll stand by it. Because I wouldn't lie to you, it'd just be pointless, wouldn't it? It'd just be pointless, because I'd probably make up better stories. I mean, I can think of much better stories than that. Like, they sound rubbish, especially singing death, like, you know what I mean? Why would you lie about that, really? Because like that seemed like the most unlikely thing to ever happen, like, so you just sound like an idiot even saying it. And I feel like an idiot saying it, but, you know, in my mind, I saw it, and that was that. Yeah, should be a ghost channel. Yeah, well, we're not a ghost channel. If you think about it, ghosts are really successful on YouTube. Ghost channels, the weird, the wonderful, the supernatural, paranormal, and all that. So they do well. And let's face it, when TEZZ made this, when TEZZ makes this becomes an empire in its own right, and I'm running several different channels with the TEZZ made this sticker on it, one of the teams that I employ will definitely do a paranormal channel. TEZZ made this paranormal. For the minute, I'm sticking to the films and the quizzes and gaming. But during a live stream, I think anything goes. So you can talk about anything, because it's good fun. I'm enjoying it. I've wanted to do this. I've wanted to do this for ages and talk about it. So we do have one more subject. Remember, we have the time travel one, which is an interesting one, because I've got some great theories on that. You know, I didn't expect to see anything. Honestly, I've been through the graveyard. Like, it's not like it was the first time. I've been through that graveyard walking between two estates, and I've done it 50 times. I've done it like 10 or more times on my own, but usually me and a mate would walk through, or me and my girlfriend would walk through even. Like, she weren't even bothered, like, you know what I mean? As long as like somebody was with her, she wouldn't walk through on her own. And my girlfriend, being Mrs. TEZZ, obviously, because I don't have another one stashed away somewhere. Anyway, yeah, but she used to walk through. We used to walk through fearlessly at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It wouldn't bother us, because we weren't really expecting to see ghosts. You just don't. So when that did happen to me, I was like, whoa. I'm not an easy believer. I'm not. It takes some stuff like to get me to believe. I don't believe everybody, because I know that the brain tricks people. I know the brain tricks people, and I know the brain probably tricked me. So, I mean, I can't explain the babysitting one. I can't. But the graveyard one might just be my eyes, my brain playing a fucking trick on me, like, because that's, you know, you can't say that doesn't happen. Empires, yeah, we're going to build some empires together, guys. Yeah, I'm going to make TEZZ made this is going to be a brand name, you know, like on the back of your jacket, and it's going to say TEZZ made this instead of You Go Boss. One day, like, there's going to be like a little bottle of TEZZ made this. Oh dear. Oh, you never know. You never know. So where are we now? So we're on to our final story and our final subject, which is, just how long we've got. We've got about another 15 minutes or so left anyway. So yeah, the final subject is we've done ghosts, we've done aliens, and now we're going to get onto a bit of time travel, because this is the juicy one. This is the one, ain't it? Because, wow, it's just so fun. It's exciting to think about. I don't know. Wouldn't it be fun if time travel existed? And I did some research on it again, as I did research on the supernatural stuff earlier on as well. I wanted to find out whether if someone's spending money on this, what am I going to call my fans? I don't know. I mean, like you got like you Justin Bieber, like, so what were they called? Bieber's. I don't know. I don't really want. I don't know. I don't know. Idiots probably for watching me. Fans. I don't know. I don't expect fans. Yeah, I'm thrown off a bit there. Yeah. So I was talking about who's putting serious time into time travel. Is anybody really taking this seriously? Because if you look on YouTube or online somewhere, you'll find that there's like 101 people that tell you, "Oh, time travel from the future is my picture and that is my story," and it's all bullshit. A time traveler wouldn't do that, obviously, like, you know, for clicks on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. So you can pretty much count everything out straight away. But there is some serious research being done into it. I'll bring that up now. There's a professor called Ronald Mallett. I've seen this guy, like, what, it must have been like 10 years ago, talking about the subject of time travel. And one of the questions that get brought up quite often about time travel is like, well, if time travel existed, why don't we know about it now? Why hasn't people come back and said, hey, time travel existed? Why don't we see time travelers? And his theory, and it's a pretty sound theory, is that time travelers can't come back because a time machine hasn't been built yet. He posits that a time machine has to be built for somebody from the future to be able to come back to, because as far as he's concerned, the physics cannot make a machine from the future come to the past. There has to be one that already exists in the past. I don't know exactly how that works, but the point of it would be that it obviously hasn't happened and we haven't had time travelers from the past, so it could be right. He could be right about that it needs a machine. And this guy is actually building a machine. So, I mean, you can have have a look at this guy, Ronald Mallett. You whack that into YouTube or Google anytime you want to have a serious think about what's going on with time travel. This guy has actually built things, and he said that he's going to attempt to send information, ones and zeros bits, maybe even smaller quantum bits is more like what he was talking about. He wants to, when the technology is available, to be able to build a machine that will be able to send quantum bits back to its original machine. That, if you understand, if you can get that. So he has to build the machine first, and then sometime later he can send a message back to the point where the machine was first originally switched on. This isn't a new concept. This is, if you look up Nikola Tesla, a lot of people, there's a brilliant little film about him, how he makes a little time machine and he switches it on in his bedroom thinking he's going to become rich, and all of a sudden time travellers from the future turn up and they go, oh, you're Nikola Tesla, you built a time machine. He goes, yeah, this is it, like, brilliant, we'll come back to see it. And then for more knocking on the door, more time travellers keep appearing at his front door, like, so, oh, come see Nikola Tesla and his famous time machine, like, you know, we're from the future, we use this machine to come back. And he gets so annoyed by it, he switches it off. So nobody can time travel from the future back to the past, and that's not an old concept. So there is, the point that I'm trying to make is that people are spending money on this, and this is an actual theoretical physicist. He's not a dumbass. You know, he's been to school. He's got his chops. Like, you know, he's a clever dude. So something about what he's saying may or may not be true. We don't know if he's not the pioneer. We don't know that he's not the pioneer of time travel. We don't know. So he could be in the next 5 years. We don't know. I think time travel is one of those things that it falls into many different paradoxical states, if that's the right word. So the feeling is that if a time machine doesn't exist, there's another paradoxical state for a reason why you might not see time travellers in your present time. And that is because the multiverse theory may or may not exist. The multiverse theory, as you've seen in films, obviously, like, is basically is, but slightly different, because slightly different things have occurred on different planes of existence. So the theory is that if you built a time machine and then went back to the past and killed your grandfather, and this is called the grandfather paradox, then of course your grandfather couldn't carry on your family line, therefore you would never be born, therefore you couldn't actually get into a time machine and travel back to kill your own grandfather. So that's the paradox. But if you could go back and kill your grandfather and still live, it would mean that you've gone back into an alternate timeline where you exist in a separate timeline and you've just come into a different one. And that's a possibility, and that's why we could never see time travelers, for example, because they're not going to ever come back into the timeline where we exist. They will only come back into the timeline that they exist once they have a time machine created. Bit odd, follow that, but that's my kind of theory on that. So I'm going to have a quick look at the chat now, because I haven't had a look at the chat for a minute. I've just been banging on, guys. So have a quick look at chat. Right, yeah. So where was we in the chat? Ah, yeah, parallel universe. I'm going to get to that in a second. Yeah. Ah, Tezzosaurus Rex. Yeah. Where was it? Yeah, Tezzosaurus Rex. That's it. Ah, Tezzonians. Well, that sounds like I don't know. That's like a bit culty. TEZZ, like that with another Z on it. Now that I could get behind. TEZZ, I could get behind because it's got the extra Z. As you can see, I've added an extra Z to my name, ZZ to my name as it is because I like Zs. So yeah, stick another one in there. Yeah, TEZZ. Yeah. Well, what we got here? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be on. Arcade Chaos has brought the Philadelphia experiment up. Yeah, so there is. Yeah, I know about the Philadelphia experiment as well. Yeah, having like sort of seen the film. There's a couple of films. Only one of them's any good really, but after seeing the film, like it's definitely something that I looked into years ago to see what the trivia was about that movie, like, and what the actual real story is behind it. And again, unfortunately, the deeper you dig, the more unlikely it seems to have actually really happened, which is like, you know, it's just again one of those things where it's a very fantastic wild story with no actual real proof other than somebody said it happened. There's no actual real proof that it happened, no actual pictures of men that were apparently stuck to the fuselage of the bridge and the bulkhead and so on, that were fused with it because they'd phased in and out with it, but there's no actual pictures of it. Yeah, it's said to have happened, but you know, the thing is though, what we do know about those days and the Philadelphia experiment stuff and that actual warship is that Albert Einstein was working on it in 1955, I believe, and he was inventing radar technology for the ships to keep them from being picked up while out on the sea, obviously. And that is what was actually going on that ship, is they were basically trying to make it invisible from radar. It was not a time travel or a cloaking machine. The only cloak it was to make it invisible from radar, but that obviously didn't mean making it actually really invisible. So yeah, the parallel universe thing. So that, yeah, that would mean that would allow for time travelers to come back, but we wouldn't know about it because of the parallel universe theory. Again, no proof of it, but it is one of the theories. I mean, it's not my theory, to be honest. It's just what, like, I see online that the most popular theory from people like Neil deGrasse Tyson and the guy that I just mentioned, Ronald Mallett. So what's he say? If I could time travel, what's one thing I would change? Whew. I don't know. I mean, I have lots of regrets in life, as everybody does, but if any of those, if I went back and changed any of them and it changed something about now, I wouldn't swap it for now, because I'm happy how things are now. I mean, it's not brilliant, I'm not rich, not like, you know, I'm not swimming in it, but I'm happy, you know, getting along. So, yeah, I wouldn't really change anything. And as far as major events, I don't know, I don't think I could. I mean, you could go back and warn people about, you know, the Twin Towers collapsing. You could go back and warn people about planes getting hijacked. You could go back and warn people about World War II. You could go back as far back as the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, which kicked the ball off like in a big way. And you know, you could warn him that he's about to get assassinated. But I don't know. With everything that happens comes in education, so yeah. Who's off then? Who's going? Ferrell's gone. Cheers for coming, buddy. Yeah, thanks, like, yeah. Next time, get us a story in, bro. Love to hear everybody's stories. Yeah, adios. Arriba, arriba. Yeah, Chroma Parkour made it. You alright, bud? So yeah, we've had quite an interesting chat. I don't know how much of it you've caught, but yeah, we've had a very interesting chat about ghosts and aliens, and we're just finishing up with time travel now. We've got a couple of minutes left like before I have to clock out and get the old slippers on and get ready for bed. So yeah, where was we with the time travel? No, that's pretty much it. Ooh. It doesn't exist, obviously. There's no proof for it. It's just fun. And one thing I did want to actually ask you about was maybe films. Can you remember your favourite? Before we go, we'll have like a quick burst of like, can you remember any great time travel films? So we've got your Back to the Futures, obviously. So, but is there anything else? Is there any time travel film that is your favourite? Is it Terminator, Donnie Darko, which I know Louis likes, Planet of the Apes, even Groundhog Day, Doctor Strange to some degree, Primal, which is an actual masterpiece of. If you want to watch something that really looks at the physics of time travel and its effects, watch a film called Primal from 2004. It's worth it. It is worth it. Strange little film, definitely worth it. And you could go for 12 Monkeys. That's also another film that's great that I liked was Time Crimes. Now it's a French film from 2007, but again it also deals with the ramifications and paradoxes of time travel. So it's a very interesting film. So yeah, if I had to recommend two films for the chat guys to watch tonight, it would be Time Crimes from 2007. Let me just pop this up for you so you can see. Yeah, Time Crimes from 2007. When it decides to load up because my computer's slow. French film. It is dubbed, and its French name is Los Chronos Crimes, or Clemens, or however you say that in French. Oh bonjour, je m'appelle TEZZ. Right. Piss off now and go back to the other page. No, it's not going to let me go. It's taking ages. Right, let's get rid of that. So yeah, go for Time Crimes, which is a great film, and the other one which I mentioned. I can't remember what it was now. Getting so close to the end of the stream. Oh, I see. Yeah, 9/11 was predicted by Nostradamus. A lot of things were predicted by Nostradamus, so, and again, I just don't believe it because it gets so debunked because of the stuff that he says, like, just gets so. Yeah, okay, right. Jared's just put a good one through. Yeah, butterfly effect. That's another one. Yeah, that's a great film, that is, which especially the first one, how it deals with the consequences of even the tiniest changes. So yeah, that's a great film. That another good one. So yeah, Primer is definitely worth a watch, and one of the craziest ones that I've ever seen is Predestination. So if any of you guys seen Predestination, let me know. Time Cop, free on YouTube. Wasn't that great when that came out? Jeez, that was great when that film. I loved it. But do you know what? I'll have to get a list of free films that you can get on YouTube, guys, so I can put it in the group. Yeah, that'll be fun. Yay! Immortal Dragon comes through with a great one. Bill and Ted. How can you not like Bill and Ted? Did you see the third one? It was a bit cheesy, but it was still fun. It's some great films. Great films. Louis Parsons, Time Traveler's Wife. That's a great film. It is. People say it's boring, but it's like it's a love story and a science fiction type film. It's actually brilliant. And people say blokes don't like romance films. Yeah, throw a bit of time travel in there, like, or a really fast car, and yeah, we like it. Throw a ghost in there, it'll be alright. So, guys, that's pretty much it. Like, I'll give you a few recommendations for films there. So, Primer, Predestination, um, Time Crimes. You've got Time Traveler's Wife and Butterfly Effect in the Terminator, of course, the Terminator from Mrs. TEZZ and Louis there. Yeah, I love a good time travel film that can get a bit convoluted at times, which is why you've got to watch Predestination. Predestination is one of the weirdest time travel films you'll ever see. I can't even tell you about it. I can't because I will spoil the moment where you go, what the hell has happened? But yeah, try that one. That's it. The music is gone. Our time is over. Um, just want to say thank you to all the people in the chat. I want to say thank you to Arcade Chaos. I want to say thank you to Immortal Dragon. I want to say thank you to Louis Parsons and Mrs. TEZZ and Feral Inferno and Tacoma Parkour. Who else we got? I'm sure we had one or two other people in early days and probably got a lurker or two as well. Dave Show's in here somewhere, so thanks for coming, bud. Yeah, thanks for listening to this. Like, it's been good fun having everybody here. Let me just see, Mrs. Tez, she always gets a mention. I think that's just about it. I think that's everybody. Am I missing anybody? All your links are up above and down below in the comments. Leave us a comment, guys. Let us know what you thought of the stream, and if you'd like me to cover these subjects again, we will, and have another night of it. So, yeah, it's been fun. Have fun, guys. Have a great night. Catch you tomorrow. See you in the group. Later.